The genius scam that shook Singapore's state fund. When Singapore's prestigious state investment fund shocked the nation with a $1 billion loss, the headlines sounded like something out of a thriller. What no one expected was that the trail did not lead to a network of criminal masterminds or an international conspiracy. Instead, it pointed to a single man. He had no powerful family, no Ivy League degree, and no access to secret technology. All he carried with him was charm, a stack of spreadsheets, and a past he carefully designed out of thin air. The scandal unfolded like a magician's trick performed in broad daylight. Everyone had been watching, yet somehow no one noticed the deception until it was far too late. This man understood how to play with human psychology. He knew which words inspired trust, which figures created credibility, and which silences allowed suspicion to fade. His success was not built on real wealth or expertise, but on his ability to sell an illusion so convincing that even the most cautious professionals failed to doubt him. What makes this story more fascinating is not only the audacity of one individual, but also the uncomfortable truth it reveals about how systems we consider foolproof can be undone by a single clever player. At the center of this story stands a man who, on paper, looked like anyone else. He did not come from a wealthy family, he did not graduate from elite universities, and he had no powerful allies waiting to open doors for him. In many ways, he blended into the background of everyday life, the kind of person society often overlooks. Yet beneath that ordinary surface was a mind that never stopped calculating. He was intelligent and ambitious, with a hunger that could not be satisfied by routine jobs or modest success. What he craved most was recognition, the feeling of standing shoulder to shoulder with the wealthy and the powerful. To him, money was not just currency, it was proof of his worth. A ticket into the world of influence where he believed he truly belonged. His greatest advantage was not a secret bank account or hidden investors. Instead, it was something far more subtle but infinitely more dangerous. He understood. Every detail was designed to give the impression of a growing empire just waiting for serious backing. He also knew his audience. In Singapore, financial culture is famously careful and risk-averse. So instead of selling it as a gamble, he presented it as exclusive and urgent. The message was simple: act now or risk being left behind. That framing turned hesitation into action. By the time the fund signed off on the investment, it no longer felt like a risk, it felt like a privilege. For a while, everything seemed unstoppable. The fund poured millions into his scheme, each transfer reinforcing the image of a brilliant dealmaker with a golden touch. On the surface, it looked like a triumph not only for him, but also for the officers who had backed him. Their rising star was shining brighter than ever. Behind the scenes, however, he was living two very different lives. One side was polished and public, filled with investor meetings, glowing presentations, and confident predictions about the future. The other side was hidden and extravagant. He moved between luxury hotels, traveled first class across continents, and kept secret hideouts where no one could question how the money was really being used. It was a performance that required constant balance,
but for a time, he played the role flawlessly. The outside world saw him as a financial genius, the kind of visionary who spotted opportunities years before others. Journalists began repeating his name, and even cautious observers admitted that his results spoke for themselves. But numbers have a way of telling the truth. Slowly, small cracks began to appear. Projections did not match reality. Questions surfaced, and whispers of doubt started to spread. The illusion, though still intact, was no longer unshakable. The end came faster than anyone expected. After weeks of mounting suspicion and frantic cover-ups, authorities finally made their move. In a scene that felt more like a movie than real life, he was caught in a dramatic raid. Some say it happened at the airport, just as he was preparing to board a flight to another safe haven. Others recall him being cornered during a glittering event, surrounded by people who had once praised him as a visionary. Either way, the chase was over. The arrest sent shockwaves through the country.